Hello, I'm Christina, and I'm going to be doing the solar water desalination lab that's due today. So I'm doing the 1 cup of water in the big bowl, and then half a teaspoon of salt. Just going to stir that up. Just going to stir it up real good. Okay. And then dry this real quick. Okay, put this in there. It's supposed to float. It's floating a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh, it's windy. Okay. And then plastic wrap. So. Sorry about that. Oh my god. Okay, let me just take this off. Let me just take this off. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Alrighty. I'm just gonna go move this to the floor so it'll be more leveled because it's on a little slant right now. So let's go to the floor. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Ah! Okay. So here we are on the floor. Okay. And then, so the weights are gonna be some coins. Alrighty. So that's it for right now. This is what it looks like. There's the sun. So yeah, this is it for right now. I'm gonna check back in like 2 hours. So bye. I just wanted to add a quick little note. If you're in Tempe, you know today's a little cloudy, a little gray. You know, there's been some sprinkling. So I'm sure that's gonna affect my results. They probably would have been better if I did it any other day, like yesterday. Yesterday was pretty sunny, but I did not. So yeah. But I am at the top of my parking garage right now, so I'm getting like the most sun exposure I possibly can. So yeah, just wanted to add that. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, and it's not, the sun is like completely blocked. So, I'm gonna go find somewhere else to do this. Okay, so I was outside for about an hour doing this. So, midway got pretty foggy up here, and then it started sprinkling, so there's a little bit of condensation from that, I guess, from little drops. I don't see any water in the little cup, however. So yeah, this is just how it is right now. Since like the sun's gone, I decided to just try to get this pot, you know, to boil some water, and then so the heat from that will just, you know, go to this little cup. I didn't want to put it directly on the heat because that just didn't seem very smart, so I'm not gonna do that. And I was also gonna maybe do like, you know how they melt chocolate? They put like a pot and then they put like a glass bowl on top and they like melt it. Like I was gonna do something like that, but it wouldn't fit. So now I'm just doing, like I said, heat from this soon to be boiling pot of water to just like affect this. So yeah. So 1 hour in, not much results. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. Okay, I just wanted to give a little update. It's been 20 minutes since I like started doing this project in here. So I turned on all the lights. I turned on the microwave light up there. And then I moved the pot to the back burner as well as the glass bowl. I thought it would just be better back there for some reason. You know, I thought maybe the steam going up, you know, will be trapped in that area and there'll be like a more of a flow going to the glass bowl, which would produce some distilled water. So that's the update for right now. So overall, I've been doing this project for like an hour and a half. So yeah. So this is what it looks like right now. It's pretty foggy in there, but there hasn't been any droplets of water yet. So yeah. Okay, so it's been like 2 hours overall, and I think I'm gonna call it quits because I don't want to have this boiling too long. I don't want to, you know, waste electricity and just, yeah. And because there's no water in the cup, but there's a good amount of water on here, so I think I'm just gonna lick it to give it a taste. There's also like a drop right there, so I'll drink that little drop and then drink the salt water. Okay, so now time for the questions. I only got 2 drops of desalinated water, and that's it. And the 2 drops that I did get was mostly from when I went inside and started doing the project by the stove. When I was outside doing the solar part, the plastic wrap did get a little foggy, but there wasn't much condensation going on. There was a little bit, but there wasn't much, and it wasn't even close to having any type of droplets. So, when I tasted the water, the 2 drops, it didn't taste like salt at all. It tasted very plain. You know, like when you drink tap water, like you could taste something. I didn't really taste anything in the distilled water. It was only 2 drops, so it was kind of hard to tell, but I genuinely, it tasted very plain. And then when I tasted the salt water, it was pretty salty. It just reminded me of like saline solution that I would use for my sinuses. So yeah, it was just salty overall. So the solar still was able to work due to the thermal radiation coming from the sunlight. So, you know, the rays coming from the sun would go through the plastic wrap and be trapped in the large glass bowl. And so the glass bowl, the big one, would be like the conduction part of it all, because that was like what was getting hot and made the water hot. And then so through that, the water was like, the water within this salt water within the big bowl was getting hotter, and so the hot water at the bottom would go to the top, you know, so it would be like a cycle of cold and hot water, you know, just going back and forth. And so that part would be the convection. And so once the water got to the point where it was heated enough, you know, and was like really getting through to the part of like condensation, water vapor would come from it. So, you know, like that's a gas, and so it would rise to the top of the plastic wrap, and then it would collect, so it would condense, and then the weight from the coins would have all the water droplets go to the middle. And then once it got heavy enough, or just enough to make a droplet, it would drop down to the little glass bowl. So that's overall how it worked. I would say that the size and the shape of the outer container um, definitely affected the efficiency. I used a pretty small container compared to what the example had. The example was like a flat, very wide container, and so the water level was lower. And then for mine, like the water level was way higher, and then even the little glass bowl within the big one would float. So I think that definitely like messed with the efficiency, because I would say that it made the process of the the convection process to not be as efficient as it would be if the water level was lower, because it just takes more time for the hot water and the cold water to go back and forth and get to the point where it actually starts condense, like turning into water vapor. So I would definitely say whatever size, if the bowl was too small, then the water level was high and it would definitely make everything take longer. And then the lower it was, the faster that the process would get going. I definitely think the volume or the depth of the water in the evaporating container affected the efficiency. I think it made it go slower if the volume was higher, just like I was saying. I think, the higher the volume, the higher the water level that was in the bigger container. And so that just affected the overall length of the process of the water, the cold water and the hot water going back and forth, and eventually producing water vapor. So I would say that, yeah, especially in my case, I had a pretty high volume in the bigger container, and it definitely made the process go slower. Even when I put it by the stove, the process was still pretty slow. So yeah. My project could have been improved by choosing a wider outer bowl, so that the evaporation process could have taken place faster. It would have been more efficient. I would also recommend looking at the weather for when you're gonna do it, so you could plan accordingly. If it was a cloudy day, then you might not want to do it the day of, and give yourself a couple of days. If you just can't do it how it's supposed to be done, and if you need to find another way and innovate a different way to get the project done. Besides that, the project does work. I think just whoever's doing it needs to be on top of it and aware that you probably won't get it on your first try due to the weather or just the conditions that it's under the first time. It probably won't be perfect, so you might have to do it again or find another way to do it. So yeah, I would just recommend managing your time and looking at the weather for sure.